Uninstalled podcast episode 23. Welcome back. We have me, myself, and I, Adrian, joined by the one and only.
Schmishta Schmoon, aka X67 Moon, aka Dave.
Hell yeah, aka the guy fucking your bitch behind your back. We may have a guest.
Fucking your baby moms.
We may have a guest joining us at some point. He may not end up making it. I forgot to remind him because I got super busy with work, so we're not going to hold it against him. He may join it later.
Busy by work, we mean playing Armor Reforger.
And also getting stranded like 3 towns away. But that is a topic for later. Bro, what has never ceased me, what has never ceased to amaze me during our friendship is just the amount of bitches you just have on deck. Not that you're rizzing them up or you're fucking said bitches, but that you just have mad bitches all over your shit. Like, whether it's like, oh my god, dude, you harassing me with scuba stuff for so long. Like, you just have like a Rolodex of bitches that you're following on all of your social media platforms. And I think to myself sometimes, I'm like, dude, and maybe it's because I'm gay, right? Maybe that's the issue here. But I'm like, I don't want to see people shaking ass all the time. But
I can't get enough of bitches shaking ass. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah, I mean, I do follow a lot of them.
That's like my number one hobby whenever I'm scrolling through Twitter. It's just bitches shaking ass.
Yeah, and you know, the older I get, the more I'm like, if I'm gonna be closeted gay for the rest of my life, I gotta hide it better. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So
can't be complaining to me about scuba stuff while you're looking at femboys, bro.
Yeah. So like, you know, the other day I'm like up in the middle of the night watching like hardcore BBC gangbangs and shit, and I'm like, you know what? I should probably follow some more bitches. So I can feel a little bit more straight. And I'm scrolling through Snapchat. And I'm just going through like the quick ads, or like whoever's like added you.
Mm-hmm.
And I see this shorty and I'm like, damn, like this chick is like bad. Like, I don't see a lot of bad bitches on my Snapchat. It's a lot of like single mothers for some fucking reason. They're like posting their kid and then like slutting out in the club.
Snap, bro. Give me your fucking snap.
I can put you on to some single moms, bro, because that's all Snapchat be recommending me.
I'm trying to be the dad that stepped up, bro. Fuck it.
Put the fucking shirt on. But I follow this chick, and I'm like, damn, shorty kind of bad. And just like fucking clockwork, dude. We're talking before the podcast about fucking, you know, Iran. We're talking about tariffs, you know. And I'm scrolling through Snapchat, and I'm like, let me peep shorty. She got a couple new stories out. I see the first one, it's like typical. The second one, she like in front of a mirror looking all fine, and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to slide on shorty. And then I go over to the next one. I'm like, oh, of course. You know, I want to know what it said.
Single mom, ready to fuck.
Hit me up for bundles, $20 a piece.
God damn.
So I was like, oh, this makes sense. So apparently Snapchat is trying to feed me single mothers and OnlyFans girls. So
I mean, a bundle for $20, I might have to.
She might be your kind of bitch too, bro. She's like one of the, like those like big ass rotund motherfuckers, like just like a little bit thicker type shit.
Ooh,
not like a pencil. Got some shape to her. You know what I'm saying? Got some shape to her.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, not nearly a dub is crazy. Maybe like 3 bones. I got you with 3 bones. That's all you're getting out of me.
I need a dub so I can buy her bundles, bro.
Bro, I am trying to get back into hockey, bro, and it's an expensive hobby. I don't got fucking 5 schmeckles to give you, bro. I don't have 2 shillings to give you, brother. I'm addicted, dude. Whenever I get into new shit, I get so addicted. I got into collecting fucking steel books. I bought so many fucking Call of Duty Steelbooks. I bought fucking hardened editions for. I have a fucking sealed with the Walmart stickers still on it, Ghost Hardened edition. I got into the Force Unleashed, dude. I spent like $1,000 on Force Unleashed merchandise. I did make some money back. I don't think I ever made too much profit, but I did sell some of the stuff because my collection was just too big. I was like, I don't need it. But I'm getting back into hockey because I'm like, well, I can't consistently get my fat ass to get on a fucking bike or a treadmill. But I played some hockey when I was younger, and like hockey's like my main sport. I've always enjoyed training like a hockey player. So I was like, you know what, let me get, some off ice equipment so I can do some off ice training and then work my way back into some on ice shit. And then I think eventually I want to get fit enough to join a beer league and just kind of use that to stay in shape. But bro, I'm addicted to fucking sticks, dude. I'm looking at sticks all day, dude. Because I've all my life I've wanted a stick from Warrior. I don't know why. Warrior is the brand that I've always wanted to fucking get a stick from, but I bought this like secondhand stick from this dude. It's some like weird fucking like Alibaba brand I've never fucking heard of in my life. It's a used stick off a sideline swap, so that bitch is probably fucking compromised, and I'm gonna take one fucking wrist shot with it, and it's gonna fall apart like dust.
All I'm saying is, bro, get on that EMT shit with me.
I'm gonna have to
fucking get all the game sticks you want, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, bro. But I didn't realize that Warrior has poverty sticks that they sell at Dick's. And I was on Dick's website and I was like, oh, they got broke motherfucker sticks? Because I don't know if you know this about hockey sticks.
On the topic of poverty sticks, sorry to cut you off and go to another subject real quick.
Oh no, you're fine.
We've been talking about getting into fishing lately, right?
Oh yes, dude.
You were like, let's go down to the local fucking Bass Pros, whatever, our local shit, right?
Yeah. I mean, we could just go to Walmart.
Name because too local. You were like, let's get some ugly sticks and let's just fucking cast. You said ugly sticks, bro.
Did you not know that was a real thing?
I didn't know that was an actual brand until like 2 days ago.
Yeah, I used to have an ugly stick. It's probably somewhere. I think I forget what I did with all my poles. I did something with them. There's like, because I went on like a fishing trip like ages ago. We went like as a family to Minnesota, so we brought some poles up there with us. But yeah, ugly sticks are nice, dude. I mean, they're not like
I didn't know that was like an actual brand. I thought you were just meaning like some like knockoff fugly ass like fucking rod, bro. Like real.
You thought I was like talking about like let's get some fucking Paw Patrol rods and call it a day or some shit.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, yeah, because I didn't know that until like 2 days ago because I was watching some dude throwing fucking bait up on Instagram and he was like, oh yeah, I got this ugly stick with like a fucking some fucking dope ass reel, and I'm over here like, you telling me you have like a fucking $3,000 reel on like a $20 rod, bro?
I think ugly sticks are more expensive than that. I think they're like mid tier, but I mean, it's been ages since I fished, so maybe that's changed. But yeah, they're legit. They're definitely not as expensive. Just to get back to what I was saying, I know everyone's thrilled that I'm talking about hockey right now. But I don't know if you knew this, but like, say you're a guy who's like, hey, Mr. Guy at fucking, what's a fucking hockey store? I can't even think of one. Hey, Mr. Man at Dick's. I want a fucking CCM X Demon Slayer 5000. He's like, all right, that'll be $400. And you're like, oh, so how many am I getting? One. That's a stick. And like, all it takes is some fucking absolute fucking dickhead to get pissed in beer league of all fucking things and just slash your stick, and that's $400 broken right there.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, like as a kid I did football, I did baseball, I did some other fucking sport. I can't remember it because I fucking fucked my wrist up and I couldn't fucking do that shit. I was literally there for like a fucking week. And then I fucking snapped my shit and was like, hey, you're not going to practice anymore. But sports in general is so fucking expensive.
Yeah, and
Like,
hockey
my
is
aunt-
especially a rich people sport.
Yeah, and my aunt would like take me down to like the fucking Goodwill, the fucking secondhand shops to fucking get like all these like sports equipment and shit.
Mhm.
The people that were giving their kids little league fucking baseball and fucking like football shit, bro, like brand new, were fucking balling, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah, I work with a guy who's getting one of his kids on a traveling baseball team, which is, I don't know if you know how expensive that is, but that's some fucking serious dough
Yeah.
that you're spending to get your kid on a traveling team.
I used to be a fucking, whenever I was in 6th grade, whenever I was doing baseball, I used to hit fucking dingers, bro.
Just hitting fucking nukes and shit.
Yeah, bro, yes. And I fucking loved baseball because I did fuck I take that back. I don't think I did a third sport. I think I just did baseball and football, but I think I did them kinda around the same time, so I fucking snapped my shit. And I could literally like 2 weeks before like we had like an actual game, I fucking snapped my shit. And we took baseball pictures, and I had to fucking sit there with my fucking glove on my cast, not being able to fucking move shit. And my coach was a female. She was over here like, yeah, like if you want to like come to like practice and stuff, like you can still sit in the dugout and all that.
So you could be a
My
cuck.
aunt, basically. And my aunt hated me so much, she didn't even fucking let me do that, bro.
Damn.
She kept me at home, and I was just trying to be friends with everybody, bro.
Damn, bro. What
And
up,
that's whenever I got in,
bitch?
and that's whenever I really got into video games. So, because I
Yeah.
couldn't fucking do shit, and now I'm fucking 25 years old, depressed, fucking
Gambling
diddled.
fucking Steam keys.
Shout out Fanatical, bro. But yeah, back on the topic, sports shit's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
I would be pissed if like I paid $400 for a fucking hockey stick just for some dude to get fucking mad that I hit a fucking goal on him to fucking break my shit.
Yeah, like I haven't been like 9 and like fucking 16 years. So I can't speak to how expensive kids' gear is now. But like as an adult, you would easily be spending maybe not exactly $1,000, but like fucking close to it if you don't get a good deal.
Yeah,
Like
if
close to
you're
$1,000
buying
on
shit
skates.
brand fucking new, yeah.
But
Yeah,
like
like if
just
you're
the
buying
skates.
shit brand new,
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
And even with
Now I can understand why people go to like fucking secondhand shops for shit like that. I don't fucking.
oh yeah, like stuff like sideline swap is awesome because with hockey, and because hockey's the only sport that I've played, I can't really, I don't know how much else, like in basketball, how much is there that you're really having to buy over and over again outside of shoes. But in hockey, like you'll have to get new blades for your skates if they get dulled out and they've been like sharpened and like filed out. You have to get new blades. You have to get new sticks because either someone will break them or they will break on a shot. And like there's a lot of like continuous cost that goes into that shit. But I'm taking baby steps. I'm just gonna get some cheapo sticks because I got a warrior from Dick's for like fucking $80. Because really all I'm doing is just a little like in the backyard, just pitter pattering around, just hand-eye coordination stuff. I'm not like ripping slap shots or anything like
bro?
that. So
you know what? I'm gonna get me a stick and I'm gonna fuck you up in street hockey, bro. Just you wait.
oh yeah, bro's gonna like be telling me like, oh, you don't even know I got dangles, I got hands. I'm gonna fucking hit the Michigan on your ass. We're gonna start and he's just gonna fucking cross-check me right in the fucking mouth, dude. I'm just gonna get straight shaft to the fucking face, bro.
Hell yeah, brother. You ain't ready for it?
Bro's just gonna cripple me, slash my fucking ankles.
Just want you guys to know, I've never played fucking street hockey a day in my life. Never touched a fucking hockey stick. I wouldn't know where to fucking start, but I feel like I could fuck him up in some street hockey.
Fuck yeah, dude. Which you mentioned fucking up your wrist, dude. I fucked up my wrist this week, dude. We had just an absolute fucking hellstorm rained upon us. Just one of the worst snowstorms I've ever seen in my life. And it didn't bring a lot of snow. It was just a bad storm. But holy fuck, dude. I don't know. You've shoveled like driveways and shit before, right?
Yeah, I literally just did that the other day.
You know how like it's like smooth concrete, you know, maybe there's like some bumps and some edges that you got to work around, but for the most part it's like smooth, so if you just like slide the shovel, you're not really gonna catch anything.
Yeah,
dude, there's like random pieces of like metal pipe sticking up out of our fucking driveway, just enough to where if you're sliding something against it, it'll catch it. And like 5 times, dude, I'm shoveling, and on these different pieces around the driveway, I'm moving the shovel, because I shovel with one hand, because I shovel like an autistic person. I try to get it done super quick, so I'm like doing big fucking swoops, like launching snow off the fucking the shit.
I shovel snow like I'm digging a fucking hole. I just want you to know.
Oh yeah, I do the same thing.
I do it the most labor intensive fucking way.
I mean, it's the best way to do it. But my shovel keeps fucking catching on these pieces of metal, and it just keeps fucking like jarring my fucking wrist over and over again. Thank God I didn't like hurt it more, which like fucking I'd be a bitch if I like actually fucking like sprained my wrist doing that. I just like strained it like it's already like fucking back to like 99.99%. Like tomorrow I'll wake up and it'll be fine. It was like shitty for like 2 days. It's just fucking me getting older, dude. I'm becoming a fucking old man, dude. Fuck.
If you don't shut the fuck up, bro, I'm damn near double your age.
But yeah, I mean that's the story that I'll tell on the podcast. But you know, maybe there's another story. Maybe I was gooning for 4 hours and I had a little edging session, and then the next day
was edging,
my
but
wrist
Lauren
was
Alexis
a little.
and fucking snapped his shit.
I mean, it wasn't Lauren Alexis per se, but I did have at least one tab with her shit open. I'm a fucking, I don't know what it is, bro. It's definitely a problem. I'm like a, honest to God, like a 56 tab person, dude. Because I will just go through and I'll just be like, new tab, new tab, new tab. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm never going to be able to get through all this. Like, there's no way. Well, like, why did I just spend an hour fucking like you're fucking like your status in Discord, slow stroking on the podcast, just cruising over here.
I'll sit down, I'll try to find like a video that I think I'll rock with, like right off the thumbnail, and I'm just like a straight like get to it guy, like no fucking around. Like I'm here to get this shit off. It's coming out, bro, one way or another in the next 3 minutes.
I used to be that way where I'm like, okay, what am I thinking? Last time I did the fucking Lena Paul, not from like bratty sis, but like from her own shit, where she was like, oh, my stepbrother's in the fucking shower. She's like, damn, like that meat big as hell. And I'm like, I did that last time, so maybe I'll do the fucking property manager Violet Myers, where she's like, oh my God, you can't work because your girlfriend's not having sex with you. Well, let me take care of that. And I'm like, all right, let's just bang this out, this one thing. And I don't know when it happened, but they just reached a point where it was probably like 4 tabs. Let me get 4 really good videos. Get to the good part if like, because you never know when you're gambling on new shit. Because I think everyone has like that rotation of like, this is a banger, and you bring it out every once in a while just for the nostalgia, you know?
Yeah.
But every once in a
That's
while,
me
you
with
gamble.
that's me with Cass Banks, bro. Like
Mm,
dead ass.
because
I'll go back to her shit every now and then and just fucking
oh
go
yeah,
crazy.
because every once in a while you'll click on a random video and you're like, maybe the production value is a little bit too high, but then there'll also be the videos where it's like randomly out of nowhere you just get the worst camera angle where it's just fucking this dude's taint from the back and he's just fucking going ham, and I'm like, I don't want to see this shit. That it's just it's not what I'm looking for.
Unless he has a good sack, then I can deal with it. But
I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, obviously,
that's coming from a fucking gay man though, so
and that's how I know it's coming from a gay man, because I will put my hands up and be like, if bro's got like some weird fucking snaggletooth ass shit going on, like pencil fucking hard leaning to the left, I'm not gonna do it, because like low key, like in a way, maybe I'm imagining that I'm the dude going to town. I kind of want a dude whose shit kind of resembles my shit a little bit. I don't know if that's gay. Maybe it is.
Probably.
In 2026, who knows, bro? Probably is. But I forget where I was going with that. But yeah, like if a dude has like some snaggletooth shit, I can't work with that, bro. I gotta move on.
Yeah. Like if it has like too much of a bend, or like for me, regardless, I like people like fucking like clean fucking shaven, right? If I'm gonna be watching some dude digging a bitch's guts, I don't need to see a dude with 4-inch pubes, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't need some dude with the fucking Asian cut on his shit. I'm good. He needs to be fucking schmoove. The
And
bitch,
I mean,
I fuck with Bush, so
yeah,
it doesn't matter for her.
yeah. Like content wise, it really doesn't matter to me. But IRL, I used to be the guy that's like, oh, you know what? I don't care. It's whatever. But eventually I was like, I kind of wanted to be like taken care of, you know?
At least trimmed a little bit, but
Yeah, not like a forest or anything.
yeah, like it at least has to be like trimmed, like because I've seen some crazy bushes in my life.
Yeah. And it's like, if I'm gonna go into this cave looking for the secrets to Montezuma's treasure, I would at least like to have a path. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of having to cut my way through while I'm looking for the Holy Grail.
At least shave the fucking meat mountain you got, you know?
Yeah, like what are you doing? Like, it's crazy because I've heard fucking Kyle the PKA podcast say that, where it's like you get like fucking labia surgery and get that shit trimmed, because like if you're coming and you expect me to fucking sift through this greasy Arby's beef and cheddar, like what are we doing, dude?
Because for me, the lips have to be fucking clean, right? Anything above the fucking the button, right? The button that's at the top, I don't give a fuck.
Like if it's got
Give
a little
me,
hood, you know what I'm saying? If it's got the hoodie on, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, if it's got a little bit of hair, I don't fucking mind up there.
Yeah, but if it's got that baggy tee and the parachute pants,
yeah,
I don't know, fam. And hey, like, fucking, don't get me wrong, I'll fucking take it where I can get it. Like, if someone's throwing it at me, fucking, dude, you know.
Facts.
But if I am trying to figure out, like, if I'm building like a perfect person and I can nitpick, then that would be a nitpick. But in the grand scheme of things, would I really care? I mean, fucking, if I'm getting it, like, you know, it's mine at that point. Like,
yeah, for me, it doesn't really matter though.
Yeah, I mean, we're not exactly flush with fucking coochie around here, so. I mean, we say all this, but someone could come up to you with the fucking meat mountain, and you'd be like, "May I have pussy, please? May I have some pussy,
Short,
man?"
Shorty could grab my shit like Patrick did the fucking Wumbo belt, and I wouldn't get the hint that she wants me, bro.
Hey, man. Sometimes she's got to say it twice. Sometimes maybe she's got to say it once. You know what I'm saying? You ever see that video of the? You ever see that man on the street video where they're talking to these guys and it's like, no means no, and this guy's like, maybe twice, and then the last guy's like, she gonna have to call the cops, man.
I just want you to know I was literally just gonna fucking bring that up.
Yeah, if you're the last guy, she gonna have to call the cops. Then there's, dude, you might be beyond saving, brother.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you got to get your life situated. If she's like, no means no, and you're like, she got to call the cops. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do think
maybe take your own life.
I do think, ladies, let's be real. I don't know if you watch Chris D'Elia, but one of his stand-up specials, he brought this up. I think it was him that brought it up. Ladies,
we all know no ladies watch our podcast, bro.
Bisexual men, come on.
Okay.
I gotta aim for our demographic. You're right, but not like we all know. I think everyone's had an interaction with someone where you're making some moves and you get that stop. No, you're being so bad. Is that problematic? I think
that's more
maybe
of a
for
yes and no. I'm sorry,
and that's why context matters, right?
Yeah.
Context matters. If all of your sexual encounters were boiled down to a transcript, I don't know because I think part of his bit was like, and then in the courtroom, if you're reading it, where it's like, no, stop, you're being so bad.
Yeah.
But also, you know, I'm gonna put it out there. Dudes should know better, right? No, which I mean, a lot of dudes don't be knowing how to take hints. Like, I've definitely been in situations where a shorty was basically just like, not throwing it at me, but trying to say like, "Hey, like, I'm interested in you." That's why completely over my head.
That's why I said a shorty could grab my shit like Patrick, and I just would not fucking get the hint, bro.
Yeah, but for stuff like that, I think guys be able to take the hint a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like for shorties that are like, why don't men ever get hints that like we're trying to like flirt with them? A lot of it is like we just think shorties are being fucking nice, bro. Like you gotta be direct. You gotta tell me what you want before I be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to like, they're gonna have to put two fingers in. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
They're gonna have to put their hand in my pants, stroke it a little bit, and be like, "I want you."
You're gonna have to fish hook me for me to fucking get it. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah. I know our DMs have been, and maybe I shouldn't speak for myself because you're a Reddit connoisseur, but our DMs have been a little bit dead lately. But I think there's something out there that has been more dead, Dave.
What's up?
Talk to me about what's going on with Destiny 2 right now.
Oh, that shit's fucking dead as a bitch. That shit's deader than the fucking Dead Sea right now, bro.
And
it has lost 91% of its player base on Steam.
Yeah. And I will say, on the podcast,
I sent you a screenshot of it the other day.
Yeah, because I put it in the rundown for the podcast.
There was only 7,000 people online.
Yeah. And I'll say this. Context for people who, you know, aren't privy to the fucking 8 years of fucking interactions that we've had. Off podcast, maybe not so much anymore, because I'm trying to get into Destiny a little bit. But throughout history, I have talked so much shit to Dave about Destiny to a point where genuinely I did kind of start to feel bad at a certain point because I was like, this dude really likes this game, and I'm just shitting all over it. So on the podcast, I know you've had some negative thoughts about it. So when you have those negative thoughts, I kind of try to play devil's advocate a little bit. And when they had this most
No,
recent expansion, well, because
you
hear
should
me out.
allow me to have them bad thoughts because
Oh
I
yeah,
love the game so much. Like I deserve to have some fucking trash fucking thoughts about that horrible fucking
yeah.
game.
I just try to make sure that like there's in this dark room there's at least like a lamp on. You know what I'm saying? So it's not all just negativity. Because I remember when we were talking about the last update that brought some players back, I was like, they have a decent amount of players. We'll see how long they stick around for, but it seems like, generally they peak around the same point, and at the time they weren't necessarily trending super far down from the numbers I was looking at. But it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad right now. To be honest, it's not looking very good.
It's horrible. And I think a lot of it is the D2 fans are playing Marathon right now. And I think that's why it's just so dead.
Yeah, which I mean, how bad is it going to affect Bungie? Not really, because Marathon's their game also. But it's not a good look for Destiny for sure.
Yeah, no. I don't think Destiny 3 is going to save Destiny as a franchise.
Yeah, because we've kind of alluded to, if not like flat out calling Warframe the Destiny killer on this podcast a little bit. I don't even think the state that Warframe's in right now, that it's like siphoning a ton of people from Destiny. If anything, like you said, I think it's a Marathon. And then like there's a shitload of people that are on Arc Raiders, so there's probably some people that are playing that too.
Yeah.
But one of these days we're gonna have to get back into Warframe so we can get some stuff to talk about on the podcast, because we haven't touched it in so long, and I'm like, I know
you haven't touched it in so long. I played it in fucking February.
Yeah, well, that was fucking almost 2 months ago at this point. But because I've heard about the state it's in right now, and it's like the state that it was in like the last time I played it.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Yeah, but
don't get me wrong, I love Warframe, but the amount of grinding they have you doing with these current expansions is a little bit too crazy for me.
Yeah, like if I'm gonna be grinding,
I would rather farm for the fucking Exceltra again.
Oh, 1,000,000,000%. Because that at least has a moment of excitement, a moment of payoff. A lot of the grinds that they're doing, it's like, oh wow, I can't wait to unlock this new frame that is not on launch, so it's not broken, because every new frame is always broken. It's post launch, so they nerfed it into the ground, and I won't be able to use it because it's so bad. So I'm literally grinding for hours to get this, to spend 72 hours building it, to equip it, to go to Hydron, level it, and then subsume it or fucking
never
delete
touch it again. Yeah,
like what the fuck am I actually doing this shit for?
Because for me, the only time I keep Warframes is the primes. I subsume every fucking base Warframe. I don't give a fuck about it.
Yeah, I'm a aspiring prime collector right now. I'm trying to get a collection of like maybe 5 frames that are good just for different situations, because what do I mean? I mean Hydron and Frost. And I'm trying to get into some other frames. I have Ember. Ember's like, good for certain stuff, but I feel like where Ember's good, I kind of prefer Hydron, at least in the state that the game was the last time I played it.
I'm telling you, bro, you got to get like fucking Mirage Prime, bro. Mirage Prime is so fucking good.
Yeah, I just a little bit of it is I try to avoid getting some of the frames that you have, just so like for the experience of doing high level content, like we have different abilities being cast, like Overshield with fucking Frost and different shit, just so it works a little bit better. But I do have to try her out at some point, because you've made her seem really appealing, so I will have to at some point. Good.
Well, I'll have to whenever we log in and you're actually on the fence about trying to farm for her shit. I'll send you my build.
Okay.
But yeah, our mutual homie Jonathan, he fucks with
Friend of the
he fucks
show.
with the Mirage on, or he fucks with the Mirage.
One-time guest in the podcast, Sean. Shout out, Sean.
the the forbidden episode we shall not
The
name.
most homoerotic
Brain dead.
podcast we've ever filmed.
It was brain dead.
Yeah, I'd say the forbidden episode is the episode that never made it to air because it was just so bad.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. Which one of these days, like, and I say this, I'm like, one of these days I gotta put it together and upload it private so you can listen to it. But I wouldn't want to make you waste an hour of your life on that at the same time. But because he only
Honestly,
came in
bro,
for a second, I'm like, he needs to get a vibe for how bad this actually went.
if you ever do, I will listen to it.
Because I think at the beginning it was fine, but there was a lot of times where I was like, "Oh, dude, this one thing I saw, it's so fucking insane, dude. Like, I'm thinking this, I'm thinking that. What do you think?"
Nothing.
Nothing.
Crickets.
I'm getting nothing, and like I'm talking like not a word to the point where I changed the topic after asking a question and getting nothing back. Which, people have bad days. They have days where they have, stuff going on outside of, just us sitting down and doing this. So I'm not gonna knock the guest we had for that. He's a day one. He's a homie. We're gonna have him on again at some point. It's just all of our schedules kind of work out in the least copacetic way possible for like us to be able to sit down and get something going. I don't know if copacetic was the right word for that. It's just the first word that came to mind.
Doubt it.
I want to see if you're in the loop on this. We've kind of avoided playing, not playing, talking arc raiders a little bit. Just since, I feel like so much has happened with the game and we haven't played it in the meantime. Like, it's not worth me, speaking about, new content that I haven't experienced.
Yeah.
But it seems that Embark took some inspiration from Activision.
Okay.
Because I saw this come across my timeline. This article's from PC Gamer. I'm trying to see, written by Andy Chalk. Arc Raiders developer Embark Studios has mutually agreed to part ways with co-founder and chief content officer Rob Runison, according to an IGN report following allegations of sexual misconduct with a streamer.
Oh.
So apparently, the allegations against Runison were initially shared anonymously by someone who claimed to have spoken to a, quote, popular female streamer of the finals. I'm sure there's tons of those, so it shouldn't be super easy to figure out who it is. Who allegedly made statements about being in a romantic and sexual relationship with Runison, and that they could not escape because of their reliance on Runison for stream promotions. So, yeah.
Okay. Was it like Activision or was it just completely consensual?
It seems like maybe it started consensually, but it got to a point where the guy was doing so much for them that the person became trapped in the relationship because they were helping their career so much.
Gotcha.
So maybe a little bit of like a weird power dynamic in there where it's like imagine if Timmy Tenders, like during like peak Warzone, was like fucking like some lady content officer and she was just giving him like all sorts of fucking inside scoop or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, not as bad as Activision, but Activision's had its fair share of fucking sexual scandals. And I mean, it was uncomfortable enough for them to want to part ways. It's not like these people were just in like an open public relationship. So
Well, that's not too bad, but it is upsetting that a relationship had to end because it became more one-sided than anything.
yeah, and for being a relatively new dog in the park, not good for Embark to have these kinds of controversies attached to their name, because if it comes up again, which like is beyond their control, if like one of their game developers like gets, you know, in trouble for something, like they can't control what all their employees are doing in their personal lives. Um, but I feel like maybe certain Arc Raiders haters, not us, of course, might try to paint a picture of, you know, them being like a shitty studio and having a shitty work culture, like how
Yeah.
people pointed out with Activision. Which with Activision, it's completely warranted, by the way. I'm not trying to say it's unwarranted with Activision. Um,
Yeah,
but I feel
Activision's
like,
a bitch for that.
yeah, I feel like with how popular Embark and Arc Raiders is, someone it would be hard to convince someone to resist the clicks of making an article like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but hopefully, Embark keeps it on the straight and narrow, because a lot of people are loving their game, man, and more fucking power to them. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I haven't seen any real controversies like that so far this year, not that I can think of. Um, but yeah. You did inform me about something else, and I want you to try to fill me in a little bit on it, because I'm kind of out of the loop. I completely forgot what the main story was. But you sent me something about Subnautica. What exactly is going on with Subnautica?
They won their lawsuit.
And I was reading through a couple articles. This lawsuit was against the company that owns them over the firing of their CEO.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the judge has ordered, or I think it was the judge,
Yeah.
they have ordered the CEO that was before whoever the fuck owns this shit now, to be reinstated as CEO, and I think they also won their $250 million settlements, whatever the fuck, you know.
Yeah. So here's
So
some context from a Kotaku article. Just a little blurb. Court documents show that the CEO of Krafton relied on ChatGPT to formulate a plan to deny the developers behind the upcoming underwater survival game Subnautica 2 a $250 million bonus payment and take control of the studio and the game. This plan was illegal and a breach of contract, according to a judge in Delaware. So they basically tried to just find a way to not pay out this bonus and just fuck over the entire development team.
yeah,
Um,
yep,
and they won the lawsuit, so now they're going to be able to get this bonus, um, which is a huge W.
huge W for Subnautica and Subnautica fans,
Yeah.
because now we're actually gonna get the game.
Yeah, and I mean, for the team, they get their leader back. So, because this article also from Kotaku specifically mentions that the judge orders him to be reinstated and gives him full control over early access and Steam launch. So presumably the judge is saying he's being reinstated and you can't then just go ahead and fire him over bullshit again. He's going to be here for like a set period of time, like he has to be given like a grace
Yeah,
period. Presumably, unless, you know, they're just wording it that way. But yeah, I think Subnautica is one of those games where it almost gives me like Kerbal Space Program vibes, where it's like I feel like so many people just have like a soft spot for the game. Like if you played it, you have that soft spot for it. Where something like this was just completely unexpected and just like a massive slap in the face to the people who made this game successful.
yeah, it just definitely seems that with like the new CEO of Krafton, whatever the fuck, he's basically just a bitch.
Yeah.
No wonder why his wife cheated on him. I don't know if that's actually true. I guarantee it is, but
I mean, with how much people be cheating in 2026, it wouldn't surprise me.
he seems like the type of person to sit in a cuck chair in a hotel.
Yeah.
Pull up a picture of him.
Pull up a picture of him.
Show the chat who we're talking about. He looks like a chud.
I don't know if I'll remember to put it up, but I can pull up a picture of him. Who am I looking for?
I don't fucking know.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about the current CEO of fucking Crafton.
Oh, okay. Crafton CEO. He kind of looks like Tom Segura, but this is the guy that's getting his job back.
No, the other dude.
Oh, this fucking twink Asian dude. It looks like fucking
so.
player 456.
I laughed a little bit too hard at that.
I don't think he laughed hard enough, to be honest.
I got self-conscious at my laugh. I'm sorry. But yeah, big dubs for the Subnautica dev team. I'm glad that they're getting their bread that they rightfully fucking deserve. Because Subnautica is such a great game. Their franchise, I guess. You know what I hate, bro? Whenever I see somebody I went to school with posting up on their Snap about them going to fucking backyard wrestling events, bro.
Backyard wrestling events?
Like, this dude is fucking obsessed with wrestling, bro. He goes to fuck ass wrestling events and it pisses me off. Like, I'm glad you have a hobby, bro. But find a better one. You're a grown ass man watching shirtless and pantsless dudes rub against each other, all sweaty and diddy.
I mean, speak for yourself. That sounds like a fucking nice night. That's the Crafton CEO, by the way.
I can see it.
Hopefully I don't get in trouble for calling him player 456. Yeah, my bad. I was
I mean, he is Korean, so you might get in trouble for it. Before I went on,
which, speaking of fucking like backyard wrestling events, how do you feel about what is it called? The fucking like MMA in the backyard. What is it called?
Street beefs.
Street beefs, dude.
I rock with it, bro. I rock with it. That shit's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, there's been some fire. I remember, like that one video where it was like the Jewish hammer, and he just got fucking flatlines.
There was this one where bro was fighting somebody, and it was like this big brolic dude, and he was like, and this is just a test. And he fucking rocks the other dude, bro. Let's see if I can find it.
Just a test. That guy seemed like he like had a demonic attachment. Bro seemed like it's just a fucking demon, dude. Oh fuck, dude. Me and my infinite wisdom, I've made this thing the fucking worst possible fucking Discord to navigate. Permissions. Add members or roles. Boom. There we go. Okay. There we go. That's completely my bad, bro. I did not set this Discord up very well. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay, thank you.
So for people who aren't familiar with yourself and what you do, we talked about you a little bit off the top of the show. Just tell us a little bit about what it is you do on YouTube and you stream.
Yeah, so basically I started, I don't know, probably about 10, 15 years back. I don't remember when I first started doing it, to be honest with you, but you know, I started playing on console, started playing some single player survival games, and you know, for me, I thought it would be, you know, kind of a welcoming experience to kind of share the adventures with people as I was playing. You never had any siblings growing up. So for me, I was always cool playing alone. But as I was playing, I was like, it's pretty cool if I could just talk to people while it was going on, kind of have them just share the experiences with me. So that's where it started.
Hell yeah! No, well, I did look through your channel a little bit, and I saw, like you did like a variety of stuff. Like I saw you did some H1Z1. What was it that brought you to DayZ specifically?
Yeah, it was kind of a friend kind of turned me on to it. He was, for me, I was always playing, these first-person shooter games for a while, and then one of my buddies, he was like, "Yeah, let's try the survival game. We'll get it together." And I was like, "I don't know," because you start playing, and I played Call of Duty from early on when it was legitimately just a game. It didn't become like into this crazy phenomenon that it is now. And so a survival game for me back then wasn't something I was looking to get into, but he kind of dragged me into it. And when I first started playing it, I was like, I don't think this is for me. Because, when you play something like, like Call of Duty or H1Z1, it's kind of, you dropped into the action right away and you don't really have to do much to get to the next point of action.
Yeah.
But when you play DayZ, it's kind of like, the first time I started playing it, I'm like, I'm running for like 15 minutes, man. It's like, where am I going? And you kind of got to understand what you're doing with this game to have an appreciation for it. But I just wasn't ready for it at the time.
Yeah, I when we first got into it, there was definitely that adjustment of like, okay, like this wiki is saying that like the best loot is at Tizzy, but I went to Tizzy and I died to like a 4-stack, and now I'm back in Electro, and I got to run all the way back to like Starry or Northwest to get a kit. But
it's pretty humbling.
Yeah, that it definitely is. I honestly thought it was so cool that you started on console, because me and Dave, no, the other guy obviously here, we kind of got our start in DayZ through watching content. We watched like a lot of like Frankie on PC back in the day, but we like didn't get our hands on it until playing it on console. And I kind of want to get your opinion. How do you feel about, I guess I don't know if you play them, like the custom servers that are on console. How did you feel about, I guess, like just the culture with those servers? Because we got in some pretty toxic servers on console. it was kind of shocking what kind of stuff went on.
It was kind of rough.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, I mean, a server is only as good as the admins that run it. And if you have a setup that's pretty good, but you let the players rule the server, in other words, like do whatever they want, and you don't have no governing body watching over what people are doing, there's abuse of privileges on the server with what people are taking advantage of, then the server just goes to hell. We wound up finding some servers that would run well. We felt confident, and if we had any problems with any of the behaviors that were going on or stuff was kind of shady, then we knew if we went to the administration that they would have a look at it. At least we would get a fair shake. It wouldn't just be the inmates running the asylum, which is not where you want to be.
Yeah.
I actually own a server on console still. It's probably going to die soon. But it's been running, I think I took it over about 5 years ago, but it was running for several years before I got it. And running the server, especially on console, is not what it's not what you think it is, man. It's not fun. It's just it's just a lot of complaints, and there's only so much you can do on console with the I don't want to call them mods. It's just there's certain things you could change on servers. Like you can't really mod it. You could just spawn in buildings where they wouldn't normally spawn, or spawn in cars. Any place on the map. You can bring in different elements, different loot.
Yeah.
But that's the extent of it. But it's, to get back to your question, is if you're on a bad server, you're gonna have a bad time. If you're on a good server, then you're gonna come back. And the key is you gotta find the good servers. And usually, if you sort by population, that's usually a pretty good indicator on the servers that are kept, that are run and maintained well. Otherwise, people wouldn't come back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me and Adrian on console, we were kind of bitches, so we would look for a low pop server.
Yeah,
It's
we
not
got
a
into
bad way to
DayZ.
learn.
Yeah, we were. There was definitely a lot of gear fear, a lot of fear of like losing everything that we got. So
So you can't play like that.
yeah, I mean, I like to think that we've grown out of it, but in the console days, there was a lot of like, oh, dude, like, I just checked. It's like 2 a.m, dude. There's one person on. Let's do some dizzy runs, dude. And we would just literally
Yeah.
collect a bunch of loot in our base, and then we'd like get raided, and like we get offline, and then we'd lose it, and then we'd be like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, like we literally got 0 kills with all this loot. Like we had all this for nothing, basically.
See, if that was me, I would run into the one guy somewhere between the base and Tissy, because that's just the way it works.
Yeah, especially the servers. I don't think I ever saw that they had a special name, because they had a Discord, but I don't think we joined it. But on the server
think
list,
it was just like the 90 loot plus, I think.
yeah, it was like
somewhere.
95 through like 99, I think, like X loot
Yeah.
/ like whatever, like like group number or whatever. And those servers were they were all right. There was a time me and Dave were trying to make a tizzy run, and being as scared as we were, we get up to tizzy like we're just about to hit the fence where you first get into the like a military tent area, and we start hearing gunshots, and we were like, nope, and we start running down the hill. And what we didn't know, because this was like a server, I'm sure you've ran into it, that had like UAVs and stuff.
Right.
And this was the biggest clan on the server that was based in Tizzy, had a UAV on their base, and they had sent a kill squad out to find us, and we only found this out later because they contacted us, and they were like, we were like on your guys' tail for like 14 miles, like we were chasing you guys down trying to get you guys because we saw you on the UAV.
Yeah.
And we ended up messing around with those guys for a little bit. We ended up joining their group, and some of the stuff that you could do, like buying an NPC that just spawns in like infinite LARs and shit. I was like, I had never seen anything like that before.
Well, it's not really DayZ, right? It gets away from what the game is designed to be. I mean, everyone's free to design the server however they want, but that's just not my speed.
Yeah. I'm definitely, and I think Dave kind of shares it too. Post getting into PC DayZ, which we could talk about as well. I definitely got into like the 28 days later that are more like, or like Titan. It's a little bit more fast paced. They got like the tappers and stuff first. But I have found myself getting back into like the Northman's Vanilla Plus style kind of gameplay. Because I feel like with the super modded servers, what I always run into is I'm doing all this work, like getting these key cards to get tier 6 armor, just to at the end of the day still get tapped by like a 20mm like gun that this dude has for whatever reason, and I'm still gonna get one shot even if I have the best gear on the server, and it's really only gonna save me against like low tier like Timmy's or like Bambi's on the coast or anything like that. And it wasn't as rewarding as I think Vanilla Plus is.
Yeah, Vanilla Plus is a good server. You got to watch the There's an imposter one out there, right? That kind of draws in all their pop accidentally. I think it's I think the true Vanilla Plus is a first-person server. It's not the third-person one, if I remember it correctly. But the third-person one is the one that's the imposter. Yeah, but I know the guy that, I don't know if he still runs it, but I knew the guy that did run it, and he was trying to sell it to me at one point. I was like, no, I'm not interested, man. I'm not looking to buy any servers.
Yeah, well, was that after you already had the console server, and were you just like, yeah, one server is enough for right now, or?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I mean, I had it at the time. I still have it, but it was, yeah, it's just like I said, it's a pain in the ass dealing with, because it's just that it's one headache after another, and if you don't have a good staff underneath you, and unless you're paying them, you're probably not going to have a good staff, because not many people, or not enough good people, I should say, are going to do it for nothing.
Yeah. Which
That's
I
why
mean,
Karma Crew charges so much, because they're paying their people, to do it to a degree.
yeah, I mean, we were just on Armory Forger a couple hours ago, and like,
Yep.
there's a guy. I think we played for like 4 hours. It had to be the entire 4 hours we were playing. A dude just in the platoon chat, just complaining about this one guy that keeps griefing his helicopters the entire time, and everyone's telling him to just like
Shut the fuck up,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
literally be
Yeah.
quiet because he's talking to everyone on the server. And I can
you know
imagine
what?
as an admin getting those like spam reports being like, this dude's griefing would have to be a lot to deal with.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. What was I gonna say? Yeah, we tried Armory Forger. I bought it, and I thought the engine that they used was pretty cool, but there was just so much going on at one time, like with the comms. Everyone was just talking over everybody, and it was like 50 people trying to communicate on the same channel. I was like, oh, this is just too much for me, man. I can't deal with this. And
Yeah.
I basically never really played it again since then.
Yeah, we had a couple pockets of time today where like it was really only just, updates that everyone needed to hear that was being communicated, like if we're like took it an objective, or if they spotted like enemies moving to an objective. But today it was just a lot of like right before we got off, there was these two dudes in a dogfight with the enemy team, just communicating with each other to everyone. And there was like 6 people telling them like, get in your own channel, dude. Like you're commentating your dogfight to everyone on the server. And when you're like trying to hit a shot on someone like 600 meters away, it makes it really hard to concentrate on what's going on. So I definitely feel you there. It can be a lot to deal with. What was it like making the transition from playing on console to playing on PC?
Hell. Well, you know what it is, because you're coming from console, and even though you can play mouse and keyboard on console, most people don't, right? They stick to the controller.
Yeah.
So it's like the gameplay wasn't different. It's just trying to. Well, let me back up. The hard part for me was being a good PvPer on console, and then coming to mouse and keyboard and being a total screw up, because I couldn't figure out which keys to press, and leaning left and right I still struggle with it. Like I'm fine if there's nothing going on. I'm fine. Like I'm a year and 2 months into playing on PC, and I'm a hell of a lot better than what I was, but I'm still not close to the player that I was on console in PvP. Because when the shit hits the fan, and I'm like, looking for the key, like what key am I hitting, and I'm leaning the wrong way, or I go to hit my tab button for my inventory in the middle of a dogfight. It's
That's exactly how I was whenever I switched to PC2. It was horrible. I would fat finger like my keys, and I would just I would prone down whenever I was trying to lean. I was just like, I can't do this. It's horrible.
Yeah, it was a big adjustment. I mean, I'm much better now. I still panic when the shit hits the fan.
Definitely.
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah.
I'm probably worse when I know it's going to be intense. Like if someone just pops up on me, it's not that bad because I don't have time to ponder it. But when like I know somebody's around, and then you're like, all right, what do I do? What weapon should I use here? What am I going to take out? And then I'm like, oh, I hit the tab button again instead of hitting the comms button, and I'm like, oh my god, these buttons are just killing me.
You start sweating, and then it just falls apart from there.
I even told my buddy that I play with, this guy Lobo, I'm like, I want to get the textured keys for W, A, S, and D, so at least I could feel when I'm on the movement keys, and then I know the ones that aren't textured are not the movement keys. But I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, something like that would probably be a big help. I mean, even still now, I don't know what it is. When I'm using Q and E to lean in all these games, I cannot A or D while also hitting Q and E at all. I don't know if I just have sausage link fingers or something. And it's
I hear you. I'm fine with the lean and right. With E and D, I'm good. When I got to go to Q&A, that's when I struggle. Because
Yeah.
it's just I mean, not that it matters, right? I mean, everyone using left hand for one key, right hand for the mouse. For me, I'm left-handed, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it because I'm using my ring finger for Q and trying to find the A with the pinky, and it's that's the well. My buddy Lobo actually plays with pedals,
Oh,
and
okay.
so he's got the foot pedals that you plug in via USB, and it allows him to go lean. He's got a set up where he leans left and right with the pedals. So for him, it's like, I'm just going to use my feet for it. So it's easier for him.
Yeah, I've actually like semi recently looked into pedals because I listened to the PKA podcast, and on there Kyle was talking about how a lot of his friends use pedals in games like DayZ or like Tarkov, like for their runs, so you're not just like holding down sprint constantly or having
Right.
to use like auto run, just having it as a pedal. And I mean, pedals can get pretty expensive, but I feel like it's a pretty good investment because like, if I'm doing like 14 hours of DayZ, like we're gearing up for like if it's like a server that has like raid on weekends only, if you're gearing up for that, a full day of just holding your sprint key constantly, if it's like an infinite stamina server, gets very tiring on my hands.
Yeah. I
It's
was
not very
telling Lobo
fun.
that my middle finger's probably got bicep muscles on it from holding the W down for so long. And he doesn't play with, he plays with a controller, so
Oh, okay.
he doesn't, he can't comprehend, my experiences because he doesn't use it.
Yeah, when you got into um DayZ, I guess like obviously you were saying your friend kind of got you into it. Did you start to watch any videos on it, or like do you now, or because you play it so much, do you kind of just avoid like your entire life being about DayZ and you just watch other kinds of content?
No, I still watch it. I watch it religiously. I mean, there's certain guys that I like to watch, and there's other guys that I find annoying, and I just steer clear of them.
Mm.
But I mean, I don't know how you play DayZ and you don't watch Taupe, right? Because Taupe is probably the
Mm.
best PvPer I've ever seen in this game, and it's just ridiculous the shots that he hits. But for the most part, I like his stuff a lot. There's some stuff that I just don't watch all the way through, but for the most part, like a lot of his old stuff is just classic, and it has nothing to do with the gameplay. It's just the interaction with his group
Yeah.
and some of the guys that he played with and the things that happen and the reactions of people. That's what I think makes this a special game because, and I tell a lot of folks that hop on my streams and I'm like, what's the game like? And why are you still playing a game that's like 13 years old? And I'm like, because every time I turn it on, it's never the same as it was the last time I played it. There's always something new that's happening.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps it fresh.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that I appreciate about DayZ a lot. I think on YouTube I tend to lean more towards the like DayZ movie style of content. Like JLK is a big guy that I used to watch before. I personally feel like his videos have kind of fallen off a little bit. But I couldn't agree with you more. Like getting on the servers and actually interacting with people, because I think I was more of like a KOS player at the beginning, and I kind of fell into just collecting guns, going to the black market, selling them, buying stuff, trying to, grind, whether it's like the different drugs on some of the servers for money. And I think at a certain point that can get repetitive, and I feel like I kind of started to approach it differently, where like you can't, like, the experience of DayZ could be whatever you want it to be, and I think I was just kind of forcing myself to play the same thing over and over again for really no reason. So I've tried to interact with people more, like even in like more games than just DayZ in general.
Yeah, it's. I find like the interactions are some of the funniest things that happen in the game. And then a lot of them are very spontaneous. Like people that you don't know just pop up in certain random situations, and it could lead to comedy in terms of your communication with each other, or it could turn into just a funny PvP, incident. I mean, unless I think I've put out four shorts in the last couple of weeks that just had me like coming off the coast and running into random people, and just stupid crap that have happened. Like then Like usually it's not me running up on people. Usually it's somebody running up on me and me getting the better half of them. But it's like, you would just like to be able to talk to somebody now and then. And because, and I try to tell folks, you can make friends that way. Like the guys that I played with for so long on console that haven't switched over to PC, I met them all through communicating. And, if you just go out there and you try to kill everybody all the time, I mean, that's fine. It's your prerogative. But you may make a lifelong friend. And, the guy that actually got me into this game, he and I met playing early Call of Duty. And it's kind of funny exchange. I mean, it was one of the newer maps that were on a DLC for, I think it was Call of Duty 4. And I kept killing him and he kept coming back trying to get me. And we just started open dialogue. Like I was taunting him, he was taunting me. And then we just kind of bonded, and I've actually been to his house a few times, and he was like 3.5 hours away from me. But, we've kind of developed that into a, outside the game friendship, which is pretty cool. And, if we just went and continued killing each other and not talked, you never would have had that bonding.
Yeah, I think that's fucking awesome, dude. Because I have someone, we never like met in person, but there's someone that I met, literally through the same way. I remember it was Black Ops 3, and this was when I was in my like quick scoping phase, where I was like, oh, dude, like I'll make it to phase, don't you worry. I'm one of the best. And now I was in this lobby, and this other guy was sniping, and he was like, admittedly, I don't have the ego I used to have with Call of Duty. He was shitting on me a little bit, and I was like, this kid probably thinks he's good. So I messaged him. I'm like, oh, dude, like let's 1v1, dude. Let's see which one of us is better. And he like whooped my ass in the 1v1. But we were just having like regular conversation while it was going on, and then that turned into me and him playing more, and exactly kind of like you were saying, just getting to know each other better over the years. And now he's got a young family that he started, and he's doing his own thing. We still have each other on social media, so we keep up with each other every now and then. But
yeah, I'm trying to bring these guys over to PC with me. It's been a struggle, but hopefully they'll come across.
And it's like you said, it seems daunting at first because there's so much more that could be done with the servers on PC. There's probably just a lot more servers in general. But I think it fleshes out the experience a lot more on PC than console. Because like you said, console has its limitations with what it can do. And being able to experience even just the different maps. Because I don't remember ever seeing like the modded maps on console, like Takistan or like Deer Isle or anything like that.
There isn't. You're stuck to the 3.
Yeah. And I feel like it's crazy because watching DayZ and being like, just a fan for so long before I got like my PS4 to play on console and my PC to play it on PC, obviously. It felt like nothing was really new with DayZ. It was just kind of the same thing, just DayZ standalone. And then the last couple of years, like they're adding so much new stuff, like guns and maps, and like obviously Badlands is like, on the horizon. That's coming up soon. And I feel I'm just a nostalgic part of me that misses those console days where I'm like, why couldn't they have made all these maps when I was on console, man? Like I would have loved to be able to play this stuff on console, but it's definitely a good time to be a DayZ fan.
I think Bohemia kind of dropped the ball a little bit, because they had, I mean, let's face it, this game has been out for quite some time. They could have rewritten this game probably 3 times in the time that it's been out there, into the newer engines. But the modding on PC probably, when I say this, I'm going to say it's kind of 50-50. If you would have left it the way it was, I think the game would have died. The fact that it was released on console, I don't know, it was about 6 or 7 years ago now, I think, brought new life to the game because it brought a whole different era of people into the game that couldn't play it before. And a lot of those people, like myself included, got the desire or the urge to cross over and to go on PC and see what else was out there that we couldn't play on console. And then you're right? There are other maps that are out there, and some of them are shit, but a lot of them are pretty good. I mean, anyone who's, if you ever played Deer Island, Deer Island is amazing. And the guy that developed Deer Island, John McClane, he has done an amazing, almost masterful job with that map. It's just incredible. And then you look at some of the mods that are out there. Like the biggest one that I think, and I heard this is probably coming to vanilla DayZ. Bohemia is going to adapt it. Are the code locks for the doors?
Yes.
Having to sit there and trying to do a combination lock to open your door, and you got to look over your shoulder while you're doing it so you don't get sniped.
God forbid someone was chasing you to your base and you missed one number. You're sweating at your front door.
Yeah, and then a lot of people, what they do is they, like on a 4-digit lock, they'll leave 3 random numbers, either on or close to the combination, and then their combination gets guessed because they want to have a quick way to get in the base. But with the locks itself, the code locks that we have on PC, it's just awesome. It's like one of the biggest mods that I really appreciate more than anything is having just to be able to open my door and get straight in. Well, that's the way it should work. It doesn't always work that way.
Yeah, and I feel like with me and Dave playing DayZ, going back to the console days, I was always more of the base builder. And what I mean when I say that, yeah, because on console, we'd have a crazy day. We'd be like, all right, now we got all the resources, we got all the flagpole, that kind of stuff. Let's get a base down. And Dave would just always hit me with the, oh man, I'm feeling kind of tired, man. I think I'm gonna churn in for the night. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, again, yeah, I'm gonna build this base by myself again. And he's trying to get into building a little bit. And he's even said that he prefers base building plus over the vanilla building. For me, I almost feel like a sweet spot for me is vanilla building with the code locks, because I still do like the vanilla building.
I do like the doors. The doors are nice.
Yeah, having a garage door is kind of nice.
No, I mean the smaller doors for the doorways.
Oh, so yeah.
Instead of having the complete wall where you have to open it up and it sticks out like 12 feet from the wall when you open it externally. I mean, with having these doors inside the base are nice because you can roam around, open and shut things, and people don't know that you're in there unless they're like listening in. But no door is like sticking out through the walls when you open it, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, on some of the servers that don't have restrictions on like how creative you can be with base defense, with some of the narrow hallways people can create with the doors, I've seen some absolute, like, you would think Jigsaw made this base, just the way there's all these like traps where they'll have you like mantle over a wall, you'll have to prone down, and they got pixel peaks all over the place. It's insane what some of these people do.
One of our enemies turned friends on the server that we play on. We were giving each other hell for a little while, and then we became friends. But they invited us into their base, and they had implemented something that was new to them, and I had never seen before. But they had a kill zone inside their base. So effectively, what had happened was once you break through the external doors to get in, the only way that you could get around to the next set of doors was they had the fence posts stacked all over the place, and obviously there was no restriction on building, right? It was lifted so you can build anywhere on the server, but they had it such that where if someone got into their base, the only direction that they could lift their gun to shoot was in the direction of the wall or facing the next door. So if they were coming in to shoot or blow up the next door, you can go into the side like this kill box zone, and there was enough space where you could shoot anyone between the posts, but they couldn't. If they turned towards you, the gun would lift because it didn't have enough room to fire the gun. So like as long as they were online when you were trying to raid them, it was impossible for them to get raided.
just the idea of being like given like the MTV Cribs tour of a base and then being like, oh yeah, this right here, this is the kill zone right here. Like,
I think I can actually show it to you if you guys want me to share. I could probably show it to you. If you want to do it another time, that's fine.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we'd love to, probably another time. But we'd love
Yeah,
to be able
that's
to
fine.
check that out. Dave, I want to toss something to you a little bit because I feel like I feel like we've been stealing the thunder of the pod a little bit, but um where was your head kind of at switching from console to PC? Like, did you have any like hesitations, or was it just like you're just excited to experience like what you were seeing in the videos?
First, I was excited, and then you and Jay put me into 28, and I wanted to kill myself. It was
Yeah.
horrible. I was so ass because I have that short up on my channel where fucking waffles killed me like fucking 7
Oh, I
times. But
remember that.
I was getting my fucking ass handed to me, bro.
Yeah, because that was when I was in my phase of playing 28 days later and just literally going to Northwest and just picking up tappers and just PvPing with people, and that was all I did. Um, and I got pretty good at PvP that way, and I do feel like I've gotten a lot worse since I stopped like mainly PvPing. But um, after a while, that kind of stuff just it gets hard to enjoy, and that kind of I guess just brings me back to what I was saying before. Strikeout is just there's
But
so much more of a deeper
really,
experience you can get, and I feel like I was missing that. But go ahead, Dave.
any time, because I've been playing PC, what, 3 years? Two,
Yeah,
3 years?
probably closer to 3.
And every time we talk about DayZ, I get so excited to play, bro.
Yes.
Like, I may be dog shit at the game, but I am always excited to play. I just love DayZ. Like, it's such a fun game.
Yeah, because we were actually about to really get heavily back into DayZ. It just so happened that both of us got Armory Forger recently, and we've been on that trying to experience that. Which I don't know what you've heard, Strikeout, because I feel like it must have been like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I started to hear some conversation online, and people were talking about Bohemia potentially planning some kind of DayZ 2, but I haven't heard anything about that since Armory Forger came out.
I haven't either. It's all been rumors and rumblings, but I think there is some substance to it because I was I was watching Minder one day, and I was chatting with him during the stream, and he did make mention of DayZ 2. Now, I mean, Minder probably more than most. Like Running Man's is another one, right? They're in tight with devs over at Bohemia.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Minder wouldn't bring something like DayZ 2 into a conversation unless there's, seriousness behind it.
Yeah.
So, even though they won't come out and say something officially about it, because then everyone's going to be hounding them. When is it coming? When is it coming? When is it coming? I honestly think that it's probably in the works. And I mean, they're using the engine already. I think they use it in Vigor, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
And they use it in Armor Forger. So I would think it's probably not a grand leap, to be honest with you.
Yeah, which, oh man, Vigor on console was such a good time for me and Dave. We tried to play it on PC, and that game on PC is just unplayable, dude. We played
Is it really?
three matches, just cheaters in every single lobby, just blatant. Like it's just not kept up with. It's not managed well enough. But on console, that game was really fun, dude. It was really fun. And I mean, I know they're working on Arma 4 right now. So I mean, how soon are we really talking about seeing a DayZ 2? It's obviously probably going to be a while away. But I'd be interested to see what they can do with it, because like, are we like what kind of lore would we get? Because I don't know how deep you've gotten into like watching videos. I imagine a lot because you've been around the game for so long. But like, is this a different part of the world where this like infection is taking place, and there's a lot of different ways they could go that I'd be really interested to see. But
As long as they don't go the Call of Duty route and start making
Yeah.
stupid shit out of the game. Like, I mean, like I said to you guys earlier, I used to play it early days and it kind of lost me, especially when they started doing this wall walking and stuff along those lines. I'm like, it kind of felt like they started introducing things for the sake of change and not because it was needed.
Mm.
And it was, to me, and listen, I know, especially a lot of the younger people that play it, they're all about that stuff. Like, you can walk on the ceiling. Oh, this is awesome. But I mean, to me, I like military sims more than the
Mm.
arcade style of PvPing. So once, Call of Duty started going in that direction, they kind of lost me. And especially since all they're really doing now is regurgitating the same shit. They're just changing maps. Feels like every year, and they're just putting out a new game. So, I mean, they haven't
Yeah.
gotten $1 from me in like 5 or 6 years.
I mean, in some cases, not even changing the maps. I mean, how many iterations of Shipment or Nuketown have we been
Oh
getting?
my
Or like
God,
Raid
it's
coming back?
insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely the Call of Duty fan of the podcast. I'm probably the only reason it ever really comes up on here. Dave's not really a big Call of Duty guy, and I still really like the feel of the game, but I couldn't agree with you more that I feel like where they got away from, what worked best was when they. And I've talked on the podcast before about how I think a lot of different companies are doing this, but I feel like they tried to say, okay, we're seeing what like Titanfall is doing. How could we try to be a little bit of Titanfall to get some of their players? Okay, so Fortnite's really big. What if we made a battle royale to try to touch that market? And I feel like they're trying to be so many different things that like they just don't have an identity at this point. And it's just so it's just a hodgepodge of different things that I think this year especially it's shown, what exactly they've done to the fan base, where it's like a game that's performing so much worse than people would have expected.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think, like I said, I like the old school better. If they came back and said, "Listen, we're gonna remake Call of Duty 4, and in the latest engine or something like that," I probably would enjoy that very much because it's to me that was as close as to a military sim as they've had. And I know they've gone back and they've done, the Black Ops, going back to World War II, going back to, was it World War One maybe, going back to Germany and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
that was all cool. It was all real stuff, just the futuristic stuff just does not do it for me.
Yeah, and I don't know how much you were into like the Call of Duty YouTube space back in the day, but I've from being a listener of PKA, I've gone back and checked it out, and I really, because how old am I? Oh my god, I'm gonna be 24 this year, and I really got into Call of Duty in Black Ops 2. And the more I watch these old videos from like, the OGs, you got like X Jaws, White Boy 7th Street, Muzza Fuzza, Chris Smooth, like I don't think there's an era of Call of Duty that beats that period of time from like COD 4 to probably like Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3 maybe. Like I feel like after that, in a way it's like, how could they top that? I don't think they'll ever be able to top that. There's just something about that point in time with that franchise that
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just so different, so unique. But you mentioned that you're more into milsims. Have you ever played around with Escape from Tarkov at all?
I haven't. And you know what's keeping me away from it? I can't stand the running. The boot sound just drives me crazy. It's just like somebody running around with cement blocks on their feet, and
Yeah.
it looks really cool, man. But I'm like, that would just drive me insane to listen to that.
Yeah, I've gotten used to it at this point, but like if you're walking close with a group of people, it is a little bit like, holy shit, I can't hear anything because all I hear is my overweight character. Like literally, if you have like 60 kilograms of loot on you, it gets even worse. Or like, especially on like a map like Factory, where like all the noises you make are reverberating throughout the entire map.
Right.
It gets it gets to be a little bit much, but I honestly, man, and Dave will agree with me. I know, and he can speak about it a little bit as well. But for me with the milsims too, I just love being able to just custom make a gun, put all my attachments on it, get it looking like all the same colors, you know, get my pec, get my nice foregrip, and get like just, you know, a nice aesthetically pleasing gun going. And
That's
that,
Battlefield, man.
yeah, dude, I'm gonna be honest, I got Battlefield. So the last Battlefield that I bought before Battlefield 6 was Battlefield 1, which I loved.
So did I.
I got Battlefield 6, and there was a point in time where I was playing it before the new Call of Duty came out, and I was like, dude, am I even gonna get Call of Duty this year? Because Battlefield 6 at the beginning was so good. I haven't played it recently, and I know a lot of people are kind of down on the game right now, but and plus, like, I don't know what it is. I'm such a big Sig Spear fan. I just love the way that gun looks, and I know the Marine Corps was just like, yeah, we're not fucking using it. They decided to stick with their rifles that they were using before. But when I saw they had the M7 in that game, I was like, yes, dude, I gotta use it. Which the M7 was okay. It wasn't my favorite gun to use in the game necessarily, but yeah, Battlefield does have a special place in my heart for sure.
Yeah, I think they lost a lot of player population in the last couple of months. When we were first playing it was like packed. You had queues to wait to get into games.
Yeah.
And we had a great. I mean, listen, I loved the game. I think I stopped playing it because I felt, even though they had done a really good job keeping the cheaters out of the game, they didn't do a well enough job, in my opinion. Because we were getting one tap by guys doing 180s, and it was like 2 seconds we got headshot, and I'm like, come on, bro. There's certain cases where people hit a good shot. There was way too many cases of people hitting good shots, you know, and there was something funny going on there. And I was like, I can't do this, man.
Yeah, and I mean, it's unfortunate, you know, the things that have happened after the launch where, you know, after Vince Zampella died, I feel like now people are gonna try to like make a narrative where like, oh, Vince died and he was the reason why the game wasn't good, and now like they'll never be able to make it good again. And I just I don't think there's any truth behind that, because like they've planned, it's not like they released the game and like, okay, what are we gonna do? Like the post-launch content's been planned for a long time, so this was always the way the game was kind of, you know, gonna get rolled out. But it did suck for the community losing a figure like that, who, you know, worked on some of the best shooters of all time, and you know, definitely had a legacy that he left behind in the space. But I mean, it's not going to be the end of Battlefield, which is good. I mean, the game did so good that even if they lose players and it, you know, kind of dies off relatively quickly, I mean, I think you know, maybe it brings people back to like games like Battlefield 1, which haven't really, you know, died yet, and there's still, you know, player run servers on Battlefield 4 that are pretty active as far as, you know, as far as I'm aware. But
So how did you come across my channel?
really what it was I want to say it's kind of the same way that I ended up finding Running Man Z, where I think, because I don't, do you know who the Burnt Peanut is? This is just he was on a podcast and he had talked about how YouTube had made some change to the algorithm a while ago where streams at certain times, if someone like isn't paying attention to their phone or, you know, falls asleep for whatever reason and YouTube's on, instead of playing another video, it would put them into a live stream.
Right.
And that's how I you know, came across the Running Man Z. I would literally wake up in the middle of the night and I was like, who's this dude with this just absolutely incredible voice talking to me about DayZ? Like, I just wake up and I was like, oh my god. And it was the same way with your stuff as well. I think it was a VOD that came up in my feed. And I'm always curious about DayZ content creators. Like I found Hey Barnby when he was relatively, you know, a smaller creator, the same way, just checking out VODs. And I mean, Dave can speak to it too. I sent him some of your stuff, and instantly I was just like, oh, this dude's just fucking awesome, dude. Like this dude's just vibes are immaculate, dude. Because I appreciate a more tame stream, a more just like more genuine feeling personality, where like
Right.
I enjoy watching the burnt peanut, but there is a point where I'm like, I don't know how this dude has this kind of energy, and it's draining
Yeah.
my energy watching him a little bit. Whereas like someone like you or like I said, Running Man, it's just, you know, you put it on and it's just, you know, you're listening to just like a conversation, like a dialogue between the streamer
Right.
and the chat. And
Well, that's really the point of my stream. Really,
Yeah.
it's just to be one with the audience and just kind of talk to them while I'm doing stuff. I mean, if I'm playing with, you know, any of my buddies or whatever, it's a little bit different. You know, we have in-game conversations, but it's a lot of the stuff is casual talk. It's probably more 60-40 casual talk than it is game talk. But, you know, when we got to turn it on, then we just turn it on. You know, everything stops. But yeah, I try to keep it real.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're doing a good job of it, man.
Thank you.
I've tried my hand in streaming a little bit of DayZ before. I think I did 4 streams, and 2 of them I didn't have my mic on, and I didn't realize until after the stream.
It's happened to all of us. Yep.
And I mean, truthfully, at least in my eyes, you know, this podcast kind of came to be from, you know, when me and Dave were playing DayZ on console, where, you know, we were playing a lot during the pandemic, and there'd be nights where we're just making loot runs, like I was saying, you know, no one's on the server, we're by ourselves, just collecting loot just like a vacuum. And you would just be talking about life, just talking about things that were going on, you know, talking about our opinions on things, how we're feeling. And like hours would go by and we're like, bro, like we just literally like did a podcast just now. Like it's crazy, like just how the conversation can flow in a game like that. Because, you know, if it's, you know, I guess low pop, but, you know, just you're not, you know, luck of the draw finding, you know, interactions. Time can pass pretty quickly on that game. Just by, you know, you know, walking around if you don't have a car, or servers that have helicopters. And it was just kind of
we pretty much stream early in the mornings on the weekends, and mostly because Lobo and I are both early risers because we get really early for work, so our body clocks are kind of tuned to, you know, getting up early, and partly
I
also
definitely
because
feel that.
when we're done, you still have your day. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm eating breakfast in the morning, doing some stuff, and then I'm going to stream for 5 hours in the middle of the afternoon, and guess what? My entire Saturday's gone. You know, it's different. But that's why most of the people that follow my channel are from the UK and other parts in Europe, because I slide right into their midday. So I don't have a big American following. You know, it's hard because if I stream in the afternoons, I don't get nearly the counts that I do in the mornings, because the people that are accustomed to me streaming, you know, are not watching at that time.
Yeah,
but
and I mean, even my like small streams that I've done, there was that little bit of intimidation factor where I'm like, oh, bro, Running Man is on right now, dude. Like, he's gonna have everyone. And like Barnby streaming, and like there are really popular DayZ streamers where, you know, at certain times I would think to myself like, oh man, like is anyone gonna come by? But yeah, I can relate to you with the early riser thing. The shift I work, where I work at, is 3 to noon, and so it is nice kind of having your day afterwards. To yourself, although admittedly I've been on the shift for almost 2 years, and I'm starting to get to a point where my day afterwards is like an unintentional 4-hour nap and then like 2 hours of being awake before I go back to sleep to go to work the next day. So I probably got to get my schedule fixed a little bit, but I mean, how do you feel about, you know, the fan base you've kind of gathered? Because obviously they're, you know, from, you know, these countries in Europe, which I mean, I feel like DayZ is just really popular over there in general. Like you look at like, you know, Exclusion or, you know, JLK, like I mentioned, but would you say that, you know, the community you've kind of gathered is, you know, really kind of represented what you tried to like set out to do, or do you think it's different at all?
It's definitely, because I mean, the people that come back are the people that are just like us, or enjoy, you know, I guess what we're trying to put out there, and it's just being real, it's just being mature. You know, we're not I mean, we're older guys, so we don't giggle and do this all. I mean, yeah, we laugh, we have a great time about with things that happen, but we're kind of just more chill guys that are just looking, to break away from real life and get into the game, have some fun, have some adult chat, and relate to some of the people that follow us. And I think a lot of the people that keep coming back are just like us. There's a lot of people that come back that don't say anything, but I know that they keep coming back because they keep showing up when somebody does gifted subs. I see the same names coming back over and over again, even though they've never said a word to me. But yeah, I mean, the guys, there's probably a core 10 to 15 guys that come back, religiously, which is not a lot, right? But I know that they come back often, and they're really cool guys. They've helped me quite a bit along the way. Some of them support the channel monetarily. Some of them just come back, every single Saturday and Sunday and watch, which is what I really appreciate, because the only way I'm going to get more people to discover my channel and what I'm doing is if these viewers come back and keep the viewership going and, like the stream and do those other little things to contribute with the comments, and that's all going to help the algorithm and other people finding it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much having that, like, just regular viewer can affect your confidence, but also like your comfortability streaming as well, where like, maybe starting out, because I know for me it was there a little bit. I know Dave tends, tended, he's definitely gotten better, but tended to be a little bit more antisocial, maybe a little bit, where, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, Dave, if you want to talk about some of your, like, things you had when you were starting streaming, like, am I talking enough, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because a lot of it was just having like one of my friends in, because whenever I started, I was doing like one monitor, like streaming. It was a janky setup, I will tell you that. So I couldn't have like OBS like open on like my second monitor, so I'd have to have like Adrian or like one of our other friends come and be like, "Oh yeah, bro, we can't hear you." So I gotta go in. I gotta change my volumes, and then after you would leave, I just wouldn't say anything. And I definitely think that like that's changed a lot over the past 3 years that I've been not constantly streaming, because I have a horrible like
your streaming schedule is a lot of things. I would not call it constant. I would not call it constant.
That's the one thing you really have to develop, because people need to find or ride the wave on when you're going to pop out there. That's why you see a lot of streamers, they have the same hours, even though they may do random days during the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or something like that. They have the same time slot, so people know, oh, let me just check and see if they're on. They're usually on around this time. If you're all over the place, it's harder to get that traction. I struggled. I struggled for a long time, and my channel has only gotten popular in the last 2.5 years. I had one video that caught the algorithm and pulled a whole bunch of people in at once. I still don't know why, but it rode the wave, it pulled people in, and it got me enough where, as you get more subs, people watch more. As people watch more, you get more viewers, other viewers that'll just find the channel, and so on and so on. It's like a domino effect. But you got to kind of keep that schedule to get those regulars back in.
Because I don't really have a lot of time like throughout like the day to stream. So my time frame is usually from like 7 to 8 to around like 10 or 11 p.m. So I try to keep that schedule like kind of consistent, mostly consistent, but just the days that I stream is just the most inconsistent stuff I could ever do. Like, when's my last stream? Like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
It's hard to keep traction.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's all over the place. But if you go back 2 years ago, I streamed fuck, what is that game called?
It wasn't Cyberpunk because you were doing that more recently.
No, that one was definitely more recently. The Evil Within. I streamed The Evil Within, and I wasn't really talking much then. But if you go back to one of my more recent ones, I'm constantly just trying to keep at least a little bit of like conversation going, even if I am just mostly talking to myself every second of the stream. But it's not like I'm like I care. I'm doing it for the love of the game. I'm just doing it for me at this point.
See, for me, I talk to myself all day long. So it's people at work think I'm insane because I sit at my desk and I'm like, oh, what the hell's going on? I just talk at random. But yeah, so I mean, I don't mind. Like I said to you guys when I first started talking here, I do it because I want to have the interaction with people. And I'll sit here, and if there's 2 people on, I'm sitting here talking like there's 200 people on. It's the same deal because I'm just saying things out loud that I'm thinking. And if that's what you get attracted to, well, you're going to get it no matter how many people are watching. So I think it helps. So sometimes, like, I have to catch myself if I get too involved in a game and I'm like, oh man, I really got to talk because otherwise people aren't going to be engaged and they're going to start leaving. So like,
yeah,
you have to remember that part
when
of
was
it's
the
out
last
there.
time I even said anything? Like,
yeah, because that's how it is with me whenever I'm playing like single player games. I'm like actually interested in like the cutscene that's going on. I'm like, I gotta say something, bro.
Yeah.
Like I've sat here for 3 minutes, haven't said a word. They're listening to me breathe at this point. Like I gotta say something.
Yeah.
And I mean, what I said earlier about having those like first couple regular viewers with the like the comfortability, I think that's where it really comes into, because starting out streaming can definitely feel like just effectively you're talking to strangers. You're talking to people you haven't met before, and at least having that person that that familiar face in your chat can just it makes it feel a lot more like when you're not streaming solo, or when you are streaming solo, like you're just talking to a buddy, you're talking to a friend, and then I think it helps that conversation come off a little bit more genuine. It's easier to connect to someone when they're talking to someone in that particular way, versus like the person who is short because they're nervous about asking questions, and they're just like, oh, thank you, not asking, like not trying to open a dialogue. They're just like, oh, thank you, I really appreciate that. If someone's just like, oh, like you're good at the game, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, like one of the things I try to do, and I gotta admit, I've only been better at this in the last probably 1 or 2 years, is welcoming people, as they come in, like people that I haven't noticed before. I'll welcome them, say, hey, listen, I don't know if you've been here before. I don't recognize the name, but thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here. And then I kind of periodically, I'll either tell them at that moment or during the stream, look, this is our regular streaming schedule. This is when we're here. If you first time here, great. Love to have you here. Even if you haven't said anything in the chat, glad you're here. If you don't mind, hit the like button because that's going to help, bring more people in. And you just want people to feel appreciated, like they're not just a number. There's someone that's taken an interest in watching you. And yeah. I think people more are inclined to come back and watch someone who streams who appreciates that they're there watching them. And I try to go out of my way to make sure that people feel like they're not just another number.
Yeah, and I mean, even just in life, the older I get, the more I've come to be like, I think one of the like best things you can do, one of the best ways you can just recognize anyone in general is just literally by saying their name instead of just referring to them as like this guy, this person, or you. Um, I think just even, you know, saying their name, like if you're greeting someone or you know you're meeting someone for the first time, you know, getting that reiteration where it's like, oh, like I'm such and such, handshake, who are you, you know, it's nice to meet you, you know, what, insert name.
Yeah. It doesn't cost you anything to be appreciative.
Yeah, because I'll go into some of these like new gen streamers, like clips, because I don't really watch like the Kaisen ads or like the speeds, and I feel like the term chat gets used a lot, but I feel like chat, it generalizes your entire audience to where I'm like, I wonder how these people are actually feeling connected to the streamer if you know you're like it's just being referred to as a group. I really like, you know, where you can, because obviously if you're someone with like, you know, 20K viewers, it can be difficult, but where you can, making sure you get that recognition, I think it's really awesome that you do that.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. I just, like I said, I just want people to feel appreciated. And, you know, the people that do support the channel with donations or subs or gifted subs, you know, I absolutely go out of my way to recognize them because you know, I've come from, listen, I'm still a small streamer, right? Let's be realistic here. But where I came from, you know, having 8 to 10 people watch me and some Saturday morning to, you know, a few weeks ago, I think it was like 1,012 people watching me at one time. It doesn't happen every week, but, you know, you could just feel that the channel's gaining traction. And I like to think a lot of it has to do with how you treat your audience.
Mm.
And I'm just hoping that that continues and people spread the word, or, you know, kind of like you said, you shared it with Dave, right? You said, hey, check this guy out. And, you know, maybe this is someone we would like to have on or whatever, which I do appreciate. So thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But like, that's how you gain people. You know, it's, yeah, the gameplay is always there. That's one thing. But I kind of feel like if you're a dick while you're streaming or you treat people that way, people get turned off.
Yeah,
You know?
like there's I don't know if you're familiar with the game called Warframe, but there's a particular creator for this game that me and Dave have a personal beef with. He's called Pupsker, and we watched him for a while because he was just one of those guys where if you're new to the game and you're like, how do I farm this item, he's just got like an entire playlist of videos where it's like, this is how you find like all this different stuff in the game. And there was just so many clips of him just being so short with his audience where someone's like, oh, this person in chat is looking for this item, here's how you find it, and they might be wrong, and he's like, you're literally being so stupid, dude. Like, that's not how you find it at all. Like,
that's not cool.
I
That's
can't.
not cool.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, like, why are you being so rude to your audience? Or it's like you're calling this dude stupid, and it's like, just like politely correct him, or like don't even address him, just address the person who was asking the question, and like, and just egoing your audience that's there supporting you and is the reason why you have like a growing platform. I'm just like, I can't fathom it, dude.
There are always going to be dicks that show up on your stream. And, you know, it's just going to happen. People that just spam in the channel or just say things to get a rise out of people. You know, the best thing to do is just remove them. Don't even say anything. Just remove them, or have one of your, like, I'll message one of my admins and say, just take care of this guy, right? Because it's just, you don't want to bring that vibe to the stream because it just pushes people away.
Yeah, and also to go back to
just 1 second. I'm sorry. Hold that point. I'm just going to run to the bathroom real quick. I have my headphones on, so I am listening to you, but I'll be back in like 90 seconds.
Okay. And to just, you know, go back to OG Call of Duty, I feel like there's that level where if you lean too much into engaging with those people who are being negative, you get into the territory of becoming a Wings of Redemption, where your entire career becomes people just fucking with you and getting you upset because you keep like putting energy into playing into that. And listen, there's certain things that Wings has done, and I've said it a million times at the podcast. I'm not gonna back certain things that this guy has said or done, but it's like you see how, because I've watched a lot of different things with Wings. I've watched podcasts that he was on back in the day. I don't think if you gave this guy 50 years and $50 million to be trained as an actor, that he would be Daniel Day-Lewis by any means. Like, I don't think he's good enough to put on an act that he's actually getting this upset and raging and crying on stream and getting frustrated because people are being so negative to him. I think it's literally that he's giving them energy, he's giving them the reaction that he wants, and he's just ended up fostering this audience of, you know, majority people, you know, trolling him and being negative to him. Because I go on his stream and there are people that are just genuinely trying to interact with him, who are saying like, oh, Wings, oh, Jordy, you know, how's your day going, what do you think about this game, if he's playing something new. But it's like he focuses so much on that, you know, smaller percentage of people who are being negative, that, you know, it just incentivizes people to mess with him, to get a reaction out of him. But I mean, even on, you know, this podcast, I won't say that we've gotten, you know, hate necessarily. We've had some bad takes about some games on the podcast that we've talked about, and people have, you know, let us know that they think our take is bad. But even in the comment section with those people, you know, like I read it and I'm not taking it as hate. I'm just like, I'm reading it and I'm like, oh, you know what? I might actually be wrong about this game. Like, I might have talked about this game too soon. I might have needed to play the game a little bit more before I brought it up on the podcast. And we've, you know, let people in the comment section know that, where it's like, oh, you know, this is, you know, completely fair, you know, criticism, and we've owned up to, you know, maybe put in a couple more hours in new games before we decide to come out and say that the game is bad, because we came out and had some not too, you know, glowing reviews of Arc Raiders when it first came out. And, you know, I will still say that I don't think the game is for me necessarily. And like we were talking about, you know, Mill Sims and the guns before, I do think a part of it is, you know, when the guns are these like pipe guns that have been crafted together in this universe, you know, I just think I'm more the person who enjoys the game with the like real world guns than like
I'm with you. Yep.
The made up like conglomerate of materials kind of guns. But like, I'm not gonna sit here and, you know, be so on a high horse where I'm like, oh no, like my opinion is fact. We did end up going back and, you know, putting more time into the game, than we came back and had a more measured take. We had people in the comment section who, you know, commented on our original video and said, you know what, we appreciate that you guys actually did this and were genuine about it, because, you know, we weren't coming out trying to just, you know, get a bunch of views, you know, clickbaiting. We just, you know, we're putting our opinion out there. And I feel like,
which is one of the things that actually has annoyed me a little bit about. And listen, I love them, Fresh Spawns. I love the dialogue between them, the relationship that they have with each other. But if you've noticed, they're kind of selling out a little bit, because they are starting to put videos out where they're promoting games that are just being released, and you know they're getting paid to do so. And you know, I've you know, hook, line, and sinker, I've dived into some of the reviews that they've done, and I've gotten the games, and I'm like, these guys really didn't play this that much. You could tell they played it for a couple of hours and gave it a glowing review, because they're probably getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's you know, guys do that, you kind of like kind of not want to believe them moving forward. You know, it's like, just don't sell out. You know.
Yeah, and I've heard a big, you know, sticking point for, you know, creators that I watch that I've talked about has been only supporting products, you know, to your audience that you actually believe in or that you actually use on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of stuff, you know, even if you look back, like, I don't know if you remember when that honey, like, coupon extension thing was being pushed a lot. On YouTube, it was sponsoring everyone. It was a big part of, you know, Mr. Beast and his channel when he was, you know, on the rise. And people have, you know, come back and pointed the finger at honey, where it's like, you know, this app, like, you know, might have actually been a scam. Like, it actually, like, you know, wasn't really doing anything. There were no actual discounts really being given, and I forget what exactly, you know, is some other controversy around it, but it's those instances where, you know, don't get me wrong, you know, if you're looking in your email and you see that someone's willing to offer you, you know, a certain amount, it can, I imagine it can be hard to want to turn that down.
Of course.
And I'm always the, we've talked about all the different ways that people make money on the internet these days, and my thing has always been, if your thing is making money and that's the way you want to do it, I'm not going to try to sit here and stop you from doing it. But I do think creators hold a certain amount of responsibility to not, mislead their audience into, maybe like a scam, or their audience, feeling like their, favorite creator misled them. I feel like there's that responsibility that creators have to do right by their audience as well.
And that's something that Minder's done really well. I mean, he's always used the products from Logitech. I'm sure they're paying him a boatload of money to do it, but he uses them. And like he even did a stream. Like he doesn't stream anymore, right? He openly admit he's pretty much given up streaming to run his service full time because he's making a boatload of money off of them. But he did a one-off in December, and he said, "Look, I'm only here because Logitech is paying me a bunch of money to do this stream. It's an ad hoc stream. I'm doing a promotion. At the end of the stream, we're going to give away one of the new sets of headphones." And he's basically promoting the new set of headphones, which I'm sure they're very happy to do. They're very happy to pay him to do it, because it would cost them probably 100 times what they paid him to do it, in a mainstream media session. But that's an example of doing it the right way. Just being open and honest in the products that you're promoting, that you're actually using.
Yeah, and it gets really tricky. Like, I suppose I should say it got really tricky when, crypto really started becoming a thing, and you had creators who were getting sponsored by, crypto exchanges, or even like specific cryptocurrencies to do certain things. And like I remember when NFTs were a big thing, I was like, I was gonna say I thought it was a lot of BS, the whole NFT thing, but I remember being on Coinbase, and I was looking at an NFT of just like some like crazy like shark looking character, and I was like, yo, I could get this for $1. That would be a dope avatar to just get this shark thing. And then I was like, what am I doing, dude? Like this isn't going anywhere. I'm just literally wasting money. I may as well just get some, like it kind of reminded me of like getting a ringtone from like the app store or something like that. Yeah, and I mean, rightfully so. I think a lot of the creators who, especially nowadays, who have done wrong by their audience get called out for it. Whether, they decide to change and, learn from it going forward is, remains to be seen. But, it's nice also that audiences feel like, they have the voice to be able to stand up and actually tell their favorite creator, when they're wrong. That, that's also a good thing as well. I don't know how much you guys know about this, because I'm really just finding out about it in the past like day or so, but there's an indie game coming out called Wraith Ops, which is being talked about as like maybe kind of a competitor to the Call of Duty arcade style shooters. And because this is like, I wouldn't expect you guys to know about this game specifically. I'll just ask, do you guys think that there's an indie market for a competitor against Call of Duty? Or do you think, with the Battlefields and I've even like Gears is coming back. I've heard the Medal of Honor is, being worked on to come back as well. Do you think it's just that there's too many heavy hitters for an indie game to do good in that genre?
Dave, you want to go here?
I feel like it could probably do decent, because you have seen Call of Duty clones on Roblox do absolutely
That is actually true. That is true.
So I really feel like if they're going to rival COD and do it better, they're gonna succeed.
Yeah, I mean, I think the closest Call of Duty's gotten to having an actual competitor was probably like
X-Defiance.
Yeah, and I mean that in like literally doing exactly what they do, because I think Battlefield is a completely unique experience from Call of Duty for the most part. I think, the same way that there's people like me who just like what Call of Duty is, they like the gameplay loop. there's people that feel the same way about Battlefield, and it's, you know, a reason why they would never really enjoy, you know, the rival game. But yeah, X Defiant was the first time where I found myself, you know, I have Call of Duty in one hand and X Defiant in the other, and I'm choosing X Defiant. Which, I mean, Ubisoft, you know, failing with that game isn't surprising based on Ubisoft's track record, but I think it was definitely a big loss for the space, because I think, because I've gone back in the wikis and I've thought about making a video on my personal channel, breaking down how competition has changed with Call of Duty over the years, and how, like, when you're looking at it, you can clearly see there's a decline where once there was less competition, you know, the quality of the games that they were putting out went down. Like, once they, you know, beat, you know, Medal of Honor into submission, and Gears of War stopped coming out with games, and you saw big, you know, gaps in time between releases with Halo. You know, they weren't competing with anyone, and they felt like they were the, you know, the big dog on the block, and that they could just come out and put out whatever, and people were gonna eat it up. But I this year makes me think that it's different. But I still get trapped in the mindset of how it's been for the past several years, where people will say that they're done with Call of Duty, they're never touching it again, and that they prefer, you know, X game over it. Like, maybe it's Wraith Ops, for example. But then when Call of Duty comes out, guess where they're at? They're back on Call of Duty playing it. Yeah, I mean, I will say this: if a competitor comes out because of how much I enjoyed something like X Defiant, I'll play it. Now, don't get me wrong, it's tough times we live in. If we're talking about a $40 game, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it right away. Like, it took me years to get Armor Reforger, and I got it when it was on sale. So, but I'd be interested to try it out for sure. Do I necessarily think it's gonna go ahead?
To dethrone one of the big boys, I think you have to have a certain niche, something that's different, that has to appeal. Because, I mean, you're talking about a huge audience out there, and for lack of a better term, like fanboys, as they call them, right, that just eat up anything that, you know, they put out for Call of Duty. Something's got to draw them away.
Yeah,
you know, there's got to be something different that brings a different twist to it. You know, it could be something silly, you know, something. But, like, I mean, look how stupid Fortnite was. Like, the first time you guys laid eyes on Fortnite, tell me you didn't think it was the dumbest thing imaginable.
Bro, for the first 3 years. Go ahead, Dave.
I remember in high school, whenever Fortnite came out, that came out in 2017. I was 17 at the time. I remember specifically talking to my friend. I was like, Fortnite's ass. I'm never gonna touch it. Look where I'm at now. I spent too many damn years playing Chapter 2. The same with, like, TikTok and all that. I remember talking to the same friend. Oh, I'm never gonna install TikTok. TikTok's fucking weird. It's for the weird kids. What do I spend doing 90% of my day?
Scrolling through TikTok.
Scrolling through TikTok. You got it.
Yeah, dude, when Fortnite came out, I was like, this game is for toddlers, dude. This game, like, the animation style, it's like, it's a cartoon, dude. This is for kids. And then same way as Dave, I just got sucked in, dude. I don't even know how. I think I got just it. I think someone I knew was playing it, and I just was finally like, you know what? I want to play with this guy. All he's doing is playing this game, so I'll test it out a little bit. But yeah, dude, like, like, even now, like, I just don't care for Fortnite, dude. It's too much.
I haven't played it in years, but I guess where I was going with this is I looked at it and I thought it looked ridiculous, and I'm like, I was like, free? I was like, you couldn't pay me to download this game.
Yeah.
And then I started playing it, and I'm like, oh yeah, all right, this is kind of fun. I'll give it, you know, some more opportunity. And then I played it more and more. And listen, I was never the guy that was giving them money for skins and all that shit. But you have kids out there that their parents have their credit card on the account and they don't care, right? They just, some people that are more well off than other people that just let these kids buy skins and buy skins. And I've heard legit stories where kids were spending thousands of dollars on skins on these games. So I mean, it's kind of insane, but for getting back to the gameplay itself, it's actually a really fun game when you play it. But
yeah,
I haven't touched it in a couple of years because, like anything else, I think they just push the envelope too far on certain things, and it's just. And listen, I know you got to keep everything fresh, right? You gotta constantly tweak it to keep the audience engaged. But I mean, there comes to a point where, listen, Grand Theft Auto I thought was the greatest game ever made. Grand Theft Auto was a 5. And then they brought the Back to the Future flying car in, and then that was it. I never played it again. I'm like, I just got killed. Like I hadn't played it in a couple of months, and I hopped on one day and driving around in my black on black Challenger, and all of a sudden I get killed by this Back to the Future car. I go, where the fuck did this thing come from? It was flying through the sky. I'm like, all right, no, I'm done. I'm not doing this.
So, yeah. Which I did see some rumors about GTA 6 where it sounds like Rockstar is avoiding putting stuff like that in for this game.
I hope so.
Which would be so great, because the same way as you, I remember like getting on GTA Online and I'm trying to do like the Fleeca heist, or I'm trying to do some setup and some dude's flying around on an Impressor Mark II, just destroying the entire lobby. It's like level 500. I'm level 6. I just got the game because I've got it behind my mom's back and I brought my sister in and she fucking helped me get it. Yeah, it's that was a bit much. And even with the Fortnite thing, like the monetization, I feel like it kind of bled over to other games, like this whole battle pass model, and with Call of Duty especially, it's like, like I don't want to play Call of Duty. To me, isn't, I look at the enemy team and I see one of Sabrina Carpenter, Nicki Minaj, or Beavis and Butthead. Like I want guys that are just in military uniforms who also are like color coded to, the good guys have a certain color and the bad guys have a certain color, because I play the games now and I'm shooting my teammates because everyone's got these different skins. I'm like, I don't know who is who. Yeah, I feel like they definitely pushed the envelope too far with the monetization, and they just increased the prices for their V-Bucks too. So people are upset about that.
Yeah, Fortnite started it all, right? That's why you had Warzone for free. Because you have all these skins that they're selling to kids that they're buying them. They're probably making hand over fist a lot more money than if they sold the game outright.
Yeah. And I mean, when I was younger, because a lot of this stuff was coming out when I was like my last 2 years of high school, I definitely bought skins, but like I have Black Ops 7, and the only thing I bought was the first endowment bundle they put out, just because I make a point to get an endowment bundle whenever I get the game, which even now I'm like, the older I get and like the more different places I've been around where I live, I'm like, why wouldn't I, if I'm going to buy an endowment bundle just to support veterans, I'm like, why wouldn't I just like go down to like my local VFW and just like don't make a donation or something?
How much of that money they actually getting from that,
Yeah,
but you're right.
But yeah, I haven't gotten skins in a long time. I think the last skin that I bought was, unfortunately, it was probably on Fortnite. I think they added Ripley and the Xenomorph from was it 1979 Alien, the OG Alien. And yeah. I'm such a big Alien guy. I was like, I gotta get it, bro. I'm gonna use these skins so much when I play the game, and I think I probably played like 10 hours of the game after that. I not get my money's worth from that. Like, and I've played Call of Duty with kids that were literally like, oh dude, this new bundle came out, I think I gotta get it. And this is someone who literally last week was telling me how broke he was and how he couldn't wait to get his check because he was gonna spend it on getting Wingstop and buying all these new skins and all this other stuff. And I'm like, dude, like I know we're just like kids, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, but I think you got to talk to someone about some financial responsibility, because I don't think this is gonna work out for you, bro. It's It's crazy what gaming has become with all this, all these skins and different things, and even games that do it right, like a CS:GO, or obviously now it's CS2. I'm like, I still can't fathom how a knife in a video game can be worth literal millions of dollars in a game like that. It's insane. Like you got some crazy AK-47 blue gem pattern. I think it's like 664 or something, scar pattern, and it's like you could buy multiple houses with the cost of some of these weapons. It blows my mind.
So what else, guys?
I guess, I mean, this is just, I always have a segment at some point in the podcast where I complain about my job. It just has to happen. This last week, where we live at, Northern Illinois, we got fucking hammered by an insane fucking storm.
Saw that. And good thing you're not in Marquette.
Yeah. Dude, I was out, I try to avoid specifics. I'm not trying to dox myself, obviously, but I was out in a company car with one of my coworkers during a storm, or during the storm, and our company we work for has a department that's job is to like manage the building, manage the vehicles. Like if stuff happens, it's their responsibility. They have to take care of it. And we're out doing work, and we get told to go to a location. We get on the highway, which already, like, on the way to where we were going, there was a dude horizontal in a ditch, like the bumper and like the front end of the rear end of his car is horizontal in this ditch to where his wheels are not touching the ground. This dude is fucking stuck in this ditch, and he's not getting out. There's literally no way he's recovering this. And I'm looking at my coworker, and I'm like, I don't know if this is a good idea, dude. Like, all I'm hearing is that the winds are going to get faster and it's going to get worse. And we have to get off the highway and turn onto this back road. And we get to a certain point on the road where we have to stop, like, what we were doing. We had to pull over and take care of something. And I go to pull off the side of the road. I thought I was still on the road. I was just trying to get over to the edge, and I felt a fucking wheel, the fucking right, yeah, the passenger side front wheel dip down, and I felt it no longer on the ground, and I was like, there's definitely a ditch here that I didn't see because it's full of snow. And lo and behold, we get stuck on the side of the road in a fucking snowstorm, and we're talking with our coworkers back at the office, and the guy whose job it is to be able to take care of things in the situation, they call him, and he says, you know what, I think I'm gonna stay home, everything seems like it's under control. And I was like, you know what, dude, why the fuck do I even work here? Why do I even work here? I get stuck in a snowstorm, and we ended up being there for like, thank God we had gas. We ended up being there for like 2.5 hours. Granted, we had work to do. Like, we were able to still like take care of some things in the car. But I was just like, holy shit, dude. I like, because in my head I was like, surely they planned for this, right? Because like the entire country knew that this storm was coming. Like, this was a big deal. Nope. we most definitely got stuck in the middle of nowhere for 2 hours, so that was fun. But Dave, what was going on with your job this week?
Eventful.
Well, why don't you explain to us what you do for work again?
How do I explain it? I don't fucking have one. Yeah, I'm unemployed, so I can't really relate to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, you're in school though, so you have an excuse.
Yeah,
you're getting educated.
I am a college student, so I guess that kind of counts, where I'm not getting fucking paid for it. I wish I was. If I was, I would show up more.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, guys, I think because I have a sheet of topics, I think we kind of covered, the majority of everything I was looking to touch on. I don't want to take too much of your time either, Strikeout. I know it's getting kind of late, but we'd absolutely love to have you on again. We got to check out that base at some point. But we fucking really appreciate you coming on, dude, because we've been trying to find some people to come on also that share interests, but also like people whose like content like we actually like, and people who are making good content. We saw your stuff, and like I said, I was like, we gotta have this guy on, dude. He just seems like he'd be perfect to have on. But I guess just lastly, because we had a little miscommunication. I forgot to give you a reminder, and then I was fumbling around with the Discord.
Yeah, because I forgot all about it. I was out with my wife. We were getting a burger, and I came home and I looked at Discord. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, wait, he's telling me at 6:45 to do it at 6:30. I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's 15 minutes. I said, it doesn't make sense. I was like, maybe he thinks it's tomorrow or something. Like, that's why I said you got to give me notice beforehand, because I totally forgot already. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's completely my bad. Like I was saying, I had a crazy week, but next time we have you on, I'll make sure to keep in touch with you and make sure everything is being updated properly. I'll keep you informed. But I guess just before we leave, I just want to give you a chance to plug yourself. Where can people find your content, find your streams at?
Yeah, so my channel is primarily on YouTube. I know a lot of people ask, why don't I go on Twitch? And quite honestly, it's just because my following is on YouTube. I probably could do both, but I'm just focused on the one right now. It's not like I'm looking to make this a mainstream thing for me. It's more I do it out of fun. I'm happy that the channel is taking off, but if you want to come check it out, youtube.com/STRKEOUT, Strikeout without the I. And if you try to search for me on YouTube, they're going to try to direct you to the proper spelling of Strikeout, so don't listen to them. Tell them you want to click on STRKEOUT, and that'll take you to the channel.
Hell yeah, man. What times of the week are you typically live at?
Mostly Saturday and Sunday, early in the mornings, usually 6 a.m. Eastern, which is midday Europe. Sometimes we'll throw in an occasional afternoon stream on the weekends, sometimes during the week, but it's rare. But my dedicated time is early Saturday, Sunday mornings.
Awesome, man. I mean, like I said, I know Dave's been a little bit quiet over there. I feel like I might have been alpha talking over him a little bit, but so sorry about that.
I thought Dave's probably reading the one as trying to find a job the last couple of hours.
Exactly. he fucking better be over there on Indeed. But
I'm begging right now. What do you mean?
Yeah, you trying to figure out where he's gonna get his next cardboard sign at, but like I said, it was great having you on. We appreciate you taking the time to come on and talk with us. And if you're ever up for it, we'd love to have you on again. Like I said, but I guess with that being said, we'll conclude this episode. This has been the Uninstalled Podcast, episode 23.